Welcome to Inside the Firm, a podcast dedicated to small business owners and hosted by entrepreneurs, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko. Each week, they take you on their journey of how to start, run, and grow a business by bringing you inside their architecture and real estate development firm. Get a behind-the-scenes tour of how these business leaders manage their clients and foster company culture while creating new and innovative projects. And now your hosts, Alex Gore and Lance Cayko.
Welcome to another edition of Inside the Firm. I'm Alex, RevitRocketship.Gore.com. Don't put Gore.com, just go to RevitRocketship.com. I'm here with Lance, ARCAT, and Pella Cayko. You know the reads. You know what's happening. We're trying to get you on a rocket ship to productivity and profit. Go to RevitRocketship.com. Check it out.
Once you jump on the rocket ship, then you need to head on over to ARCAT.com. Why? Because if you can't find the product data you're looking for, you might be using the wrong search engine. Broad search results result in consumer products, out-of-date information, and websites that hide or don't have the information you're looking for. So if you need specifications, CAD, BIM, ARCAT.com is your search engine. Find and download the up-to-date data you need fast. That's ARCAT.com. It is free and requires no registration. Always my favorite part. No data mining. So try ARCAT today. That's ARCAT.com. Then once you are on the rocket ship, plus you're going to Revit, then you should probably, and you're in the design development stage of your project. You've got the coolest house on the planet that you're designing. You need to head on over to PellaLuxury.com/the firm, because you will experience a collection of brands that brings your creative vision to life. The luxury division of Pella is a world-class collection of brands, including Duratherm, Riley, and Benelli. All pioneers of industry who provide window and door solutions to discerning architects. The building industry and beyond. During this new year, we know how important it is to step back and spend time in gratitude. We appreciate all our clients trusting us with their projects in a record-breaking year. We are excited and ready to take on the new year in 2023. Thank God January is over. We're into February. The luxury division of Pella doesn't push beyond limits. They set them. Explore PellaLuxury.com/the firm today. That's PellaLuxury.com/the firm. Al Gore.
What we're going to talk about today is December billings for architects, the interest rates and how that affects us, layoffs, both in the tech sector and not, our home builders back, and then a very interesting discussion about AI that Lance will bring up. So if you're watching on YouTube, you might be able to see some of this stuff more clearly. AIA declines in December billings. Decline slows.
Yeah.
So it actually, billings went up a little bit in December. I would expect that seasonally, because everyone's trying to say, I've heard this for your clients, hey, can we get this done? Normally they say, can we get this done before Christmas? Because normally people stop at that point and nothing really gets done in between Christmas and New Year's. So it went up. We are still below kind of this 50% mark, which means healthy. Right now, billings are at about 47.5. So it went from 46.6 to 47.5. Moving on from there, I want the Big Short legendary investor Michael Berry. He says sell.
Wow. What is the market even doing today? Let me check. Keep
while
going.
I read this. So there's a whole article, and it ends with another quote from another apparently legendary investor, Jeremy Grantham, British investor who runs management firm GMO, wrote in his 2023 Outlook letter,
You're accused.
published last week, that stocks could drop another 50% this year in what he calls the super bubble has just begun to pop.
Wow. Save your cash. Buy some stocks later. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. What do you think? Are you on the doom and gloom train, or are you not?
No, I'm on the up and down train. I'm on this is a rough, rocky road. I'm on hopefully Al's going to talk about the Fed next. Perfect. Yep. Thank you. They are starting to fold a little bit. They're becoming a little bit more dovish. It's very important to understand these macroeconomics, right? I think so, because they change so fast and so rapidly, and it's really a good indicator of where things are going. Because when you write proposals and you're meeting with clients, I think showing a broad perspective on the economy can help reassure them if they are getting cold feet on signing a contract. And then you can just talk more intelligently. And then ultimately, what kind of, like, where does it put you in the position of, are you confident on the fees that you're suggesting to clients based on what it costs to run your firm and the profitability and all of that kind of stuff? So I'm on the up and down train. I think I was talking with John Kyle a couple days ago about this, and I was like, I don't know, man. I think Al is right about this. Maybe they could possibly thread the needle perfectly. Who knows?
Yep. I got a positive take.
Yeah.
The worst has already happened. And here's what I mean. The worst, Lance, imagine this scenario. You started construction during last summer or around there, and you got the highest prices on absolutely everything, and you are trying to sell right now. That is the worst case scenario. In spring, seasonality will pick in, and there should be more buyers on the market, so you should be able to sell better. So if you're thinking about doing a project now, as you know, it's going to take a long time to get through. I think you weathered the storm already, right? I will say on the Fed, I think the Fed interest rates and their quantitative tightening, which means that the money that they loaned out and are now getting back, they're literally just burning that, like with probably a button, probably a program called Burn This Money.
Burn this money.
Right?
Just fire it up.
So that means, like, I would not be afraid to start a project right now. I actually think that you then might get in, if you can move quick enough to get in where other people stopped doing projects a couple months ago. So there's going to be labor and materials are coming down. So you're going to be able to essentially recoup that interest rate cost in getting money, that 4% more than 3%. You know, it's 3, now it's about 7, 8. You're going to be able to get that in reduced material costs and reduced labor costs. So I would start projects now. Going back to the Fed, I'm going to say that I was slightly wrong. I remember saying they should have done 2 half points and then 2 quarter points. I think the way that the ARC is going about how they're tamping down inflation, I don't think the Fed moves are going to affect inflation. I think they're going to inflict more pain on the economy than they're going to affect inflation. So I think they should literally go to 0 interest rate hikes immediately, right now.
Just stop it. No,
And
like on the next one,
yep.
no more.
Because the only thing that's going to help actual interest, inflation is productivity gains.
Yeah.
So stop. Whatever you're going to do from now on, in my opinion, which I didn't have a couple months ago, is going to just hurt the economy. And one of the things that they stated,
I like that shift. I appreciate that shift. I think they were okay to do another quarter point this quarter, this meeting. But I agree. Like, it's time to actually just flatten it for a little bit, and then in quarter 4, please drop the rates. Please drop the rates, Fred.
They're listening. They're listening. One of the things that they said is that they're fighting wage inflation. Do you know how they're doing that?
How?
They're doing it through this. I think they know that they're going to hurt the economy, and they want the payroll unemployment to go from 3.5 to 4.4, which these are numbers to them. Do you know how many people that is?
Yeah, I see.
It's hundreds of thousands of people when that happens.
Yeah.
Which goes to our next segment. I am segueing well.
Good.
Big tech layoffs could have serious impacts on culture. I don't believe anything about this article because essentially it says the morale shoots down. I understand it. I've went through it.
It's hard to get laid off.
And productivity declines. Timeout. It's not because other people got laid off that productivity declines, because you are more motivated to do more work. They're laid off because there's less work to do. There's less
Elon
work.
proved it. My gosh. Let's be honest. Like, that workforce at Twitter went from 7,500 to 75, 90% reduction. Twitter is working great.
Yeah. There was some problems the other day, but it's not that low. There's not 75 people working at Twitter right now.
Well, I don't want to argue about it, but that's the last I saw was
Okay.
about that kind of a
Doesn't matter. Drastic reductions. This is what I'm looking at right here. Tech companies lay off workers after pandemic hiring spree. So this is percent change. So Lance, which ones shoot out to you?
The big one is Meta.
Yep. 12% layoffs. And this is,
And Mark Zuckerberg just bought back stock.
let's do this. Let's do it in number of people. Look at that. Look at that.
Wow.
Amazon.
Oh my gosh, that's way different when you put it that way. Sorry.
Amazon hired in the pandemic 750,000 people roughly, and they laid off 18. Meta hired in the pandemic in 2 years, 43,000 and laid off 11. So like that kind of puts it in perspective. Google during the pandemic hired 67,000 people, and they recently laid off 12,000. So maybe in a good way, Lance, these tech layoffs aren't as huge as we think that they are. And the January jobs report came out literally today. Did you see this?
Yeah, they said it's the lowest since 69.
But added 517,000 jobs.
Yeah.
And I think this has to do with people retiring.
They're just not counting the people that are not searching anymore.
I've always hated that.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, the conservative pundits have said that since forever. Shoot, I missed the call again. Great. They've said that since forever. That was their criticism during the Obama years. Was like, look, these numbers are sort of phony. They are and they aren't. It's kind of like the inflation number, right? So the way they calculate the inflation number, right? If they just do year over year, well, if you add the year over year, right? In other words, like if they compare the year over year, it doesn't look too bad. But if you add the year over year, it looks really bad. Get it? So like if last year at this time the inflation rate was 10%, and then they say, oh, now it's only 5%.
So it's 15 from normal.
Don't forget about the other 10.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Here's a graph. Know what? Maybe that number isn't too big in comparison. Look, 517 compared to these ones.
Yeah. I mean, look at that giant dip, though, but just
so crazy.
So crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Last thing, this is just a quick article, and then we'll go to the AI
longer
talk.
article.
Yep. Home builder, Pulte Group.
Pulte. Yep. Good job, Al. You can read.
Yeah, ramping up housing construction as demand recovers. So that is good news. The interest rate on mortgage loans isn't going up as high. It actually went down a little bit.
Yep, it did.
Which is good. So again, I know Jerome Powell and everyone is listening to us. I think their levers have stopped. It's all about productivity now. It is all about productivity.
Yep, exactly. I pulled up a chart while I was talking about that, and if you look at, I just Googled mortgage rate chart, and Google came up with a really nice one, and basically it shows that it is trending downward. So we're in good shape about that. Hard transition into AI. Can't do a podcast and not talk about it because we are trying our best to navigate through all the excitement of the AI movement that's happening. Supposedly this is the year of AI is what they're saying, 2023. So
I agree. It's been a month.
Yep. And that's a lot of what everybody's talking about. So we're talking about it again today. And I've got a fun little article here from Adam Roark. AdamRoark.com/post/AI architects. Adam Roark, not related to Howard Roark, but I have interacted with Adam in a funny way on LinkedIn, and that's how I linked in with him. So Adam, if you're listening, this is your shout out today. AI architects, it says, in 2022, I noticed the following trends in architecture topics on Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Have you heard about insert AI of the month? It's really awesome. Look at these flashy renderings I made of the buildings that make no sense by typing a few cliche architectural keywords. What are your thoughts on AI? When will the architecture profession be totally replaced by insert AI of the month? Though it has slowed down as more people have become aware of it, it seemed like there was a new thread just about every day that wanted to frame these AI image generators as either the most amazing thing for design professions or as the single thing that would eliminate the professions together. Usually the comments would settle somewhere in the middle as it becoming a tool for inspiration and quick concepts. Good. I agree. I'm not the most ahead of the curve person, but I was aboard the AI image generator train a bit before these threads overwhelmed the digital social spaces I lurk in. I joined up in early 2022 after waiting a while for the beta version of Midjourney. A lot of folks have been using that. I'll use that. When I first jumped in, I was absolutely amazed by the possibilities. I didn't even know where to begin and would just watch other people play. Image, and then he's got some images pulled up here if you're watching on the YouTube. Image Donald Trump as a Muppet. Image Joe Biden except his skin made of cheese. Image weird Al in the style of Tim Burton. The usual. It didn't take long. Maybe 15 minutes to see people playing with the landscape, cities, buildings, to realize that beyond the random fun depiction of humanized cheese, I could quite possibly use this thing as a design tool. So I did. I played around with a lot of prompts that involved architectural styles, famous architects, perspectives, program requirements, sites, etc. I had a lot of fun and made some interesting images that felt impressive at the time. But they were overall meaningless drawings, and I got bored and I moved on. Over the last year, I observed threads and participated in some too. I've thought a lot about AI myself, talked about it in person with friends, and have listened to brilliant minds like Brett Weinstein, Elon Musk, or guests of Lex Friedman talk about it. I'll be honest, I'm very conflicted. I have both optimistic and pessimistic ideas about where AI can and will take our humanity, but on the whole, I've stopped paying attention to the threads and got sick of the topic mid-journey. Until recently. So I've seen a trend by some of my friends, peers, and colleagues. They shall remain anonymous and unknown as this post isn't meant to be personal, but over the past month or two, it would seem that some have discovered Midjourney and were very impressed with the results. As mentioned above from my own experience, most people, upon finding out about the AI image generators, jump to social media to share and make the post about the AI tech itself. The trend I've noticed, however, is that a group of people must now be feeling the results are indistinguishable from human-generated work and can pass as something that came from their own intelligences. I'm observing people posting the images on all the social networks and taking credit for generating them. No signs of AI even in the hashtags. Nobody, including myself, with the guts to mention it in the comments either. It's awkward. Adam, if you tag me and I'll do it.
There you go.
Now, if you might be wondering, what if it wasn't AI after all? No, it was, at least when it comes to Midjourney. There are 3 giveaways I've observed: the style, the function, the text. I'll let you guys dive into that a little bit more deeper. Some examples of AI architecture I've generated, and Adam's got some awesome looking stuff. It looks really cool. I mean, it is impressive what it can spit out. So what's the point? While many are afraid of AI taking the humanity out of humans, I'm concerned about humans willingly giving it away. I found it alarming concerning to see fellow designers be so impressed by the creation of AI bot that the instinct was to cheapen their own abilities and our shared profession as a whole for some positive comments and likes. Boy, isn't that the social media sphere we live in, though? I mean, we're just here for dopamine. Yeah. We were here for dopamine anyway, but it just took longer to get there. Sorry, that was not in the article. As the internet exploded and cell phones became pocket computers, humans were so enamored and impressed, very much myself included, that we were pretty willing to give away our privacy and data to have access to tools and media that provide utility and depression at the same time. Before we set rules and really understood the ramifications of emerging experiments, we wrote blank checks and went all in. Yeah, I'm included with that one, Adam. We're almost done with the article too, Al. AI will continue to improve at an incredible rate. Midjourney will figure out text and eventually be able to make buildings that could be well built. I agree, Adam. It's coming. And one of the reasons I'm bringing this up is, first of all, I found your article very fascinating. I thought it was a great critique and just discussion about it. But then I just wanted to talk about like the tools that we're trying to literally develop as we speak. We're looking at 3 different pieces of software and actually 2 different development firms to do it. Midjourney will figure out text and will be able to I already read that. Eventually, my peers will be able to post these images, and I won't be able to tell the difference. I have no doubts about that. But before we go all in on AI, because it's truly a much larger conversation than image generation, I think it's crucial to know what piece of ourselves it requires giving up. One of my favorite video games is Final Fantasy X. The game's bad guy is a creature named Sin. While the plot is very complicated, I think there's something compelling worth considering about its origins. Quote, long time ago, there were a whole lot of cities in Spira, big cities with machines to run them. People played all day and let the machina do the work. And then, well, take a look. Sin came and destroyed the machina cities. And Zanarkland, along with them, yeah, that was about 1,000 years ago, just like you said. If you ask me, sin's our punishment for letting things get out of hand. While I'm no expert on artificial intelligence and largely rely on others who are to form my opinion and ideas on technology itself, I do have a basic understanding of the human condition and its desire for purpose and meaning. So important. Work is purpose. That was not in the article. I think work can be a great source of that, and I do think there's room for AI to reduce the redundant, inefficient, monotonous aspects of work. Thank you, Adam. that can take away from the most meaningful aspects of life, such as family and friends and creativity and purpose, right? That's the whole. If architects, most architects, I think, would probably agree, like, if we could just be creative all the time, although I think that's exhausting too, or more, that would be where we would want to be. I believe the key will be finding a way to primarily take from artificial intelligence rather than giving anything of ourselves to it. Bravo, Adam. Al, reaction.
Great article.
Wasn't it good?
Yep. The first thing, and then could you go, Lance, and just put up this picture?
Oh, yeah, back to his.
Yeah.
Show me it one more time, sorry. Okay, yep.
Yep.
There we go. I've got this. The picture requested by Al up on the screen.
It's very understandable why so many architects were infatuated with this, and even artists. And the reason why is because we know, especially if you are at least 10 to 15 years old in the profession doing it, how much time it would have took to make that rendering. How much this would be weeks and weeks and weeks. Like at least 2 weeks.
The buildup would have been weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Yep.
Yep. To make what happened.
Then once you have the buildup there, building the model, designing it, all the setting up, all the lighting and everything, then the execution. Once you actually hit F9 back in the day, you're still looking at 24 hours to render it. And that's with when me and Al we bought supercomputers. We both had quad cores. We linked them. It was insane.
That was a big deal back in the day.
Yeah.
So that's point one. Point two to his, hey, what is this going to cost us? And linking the second thing where I think people are very excited. So take this image that you have up there.
Yep. Pulling it back up.
And what if you said, hey, in this style, please computer, please AI, you got to talk nice to them or else they will kill you, right? Terminator. Please generate an external image and then you give them this lot in this climate with this many bedrooms, this many whatever, right? And generate the floor plan as well. And then obviously there'll be iterations of that. This is maybe in like 2 years, 5 years, I don't know, right? And then after that, you might be able to pull that into your Revit template system or something like that and say, hey, all these walls that you made concrete, please use this wall system. All the wood ones, you use this. And then let's say in the entranceway, there's some detail stuff that you have to model and work through. Oh, okay, so it generates all that. Then you review that. Okay, put those on a CD set. Put them on sheets. Then you review that. It is the result, though. That all sounds nice and fine. There's going to be a myriad of results. Because whenever that program happens that you can do that, there'll be some people saying, we can do a house for $500. They'll tell the AI to do something. They'll execute it, whatever. And you'll put it out there and you realize like, oh, they didn't even forgot to do the mechanical room. Oh, like it didn't even this isn't what they wanted. Like once you start building it, things happen. Like just weird stuff happens. 2, hey, a efficient firm got a normal house that's in suburbia for a decent price. That's fine. To high level where, hey, they used all this and then they really went on the details. They made it more custom, blah, blah, blah. So like will it replace people? Maybe. Will it make you more efficient? Yes. Was the same argument. It's like the same stats from, I literally hand drew plans. Mm-hmm. I'm not even that old. I literally hand drew plans, and the amount of hours it took was about 3 times more than everyone else in the class in high school that I was going to.
That was using CAD.
AutoCAD. Now you do it to Revit. So now if it was 3 times cost savings for AutoCAD, and Revit, once you get good at, all the people that are not good at it will say, oh, AutoCAD is still just fine. Just stop it. Stop it.
It's crazy.
You have, let's just say, a double X in production or something like this. Maybe this leap eventually is a 4X in production. Now the goal is let's not make crap with that because that seems what happens.
Yeah.
And we like to blame architects a lot, and I'll defend architects because this is a podcast. It comes down to the market. They're only going to pay for Revit boxes.
Yeah, like multifamily, for example.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a commodity issue. Yeah, exactly. I think the biggest thing I would say is that, speaking on the tools of it and all of that, architects complain a lot about why aren't we getting these fees? Why aren't we getting these fees? So let's say you kept the same. Let's say you're getting mid-level fees. I don't know, whatever that is. Like, just whatever number is in your head about the mid-level fee you're getting. You're like, yeah, it's a good fee. It helps me make 10% profit. But then you do something like we're trying to do, where we've got a list of about 12 different scripts we're trying to get written to help us get rid of the monotonous stuff. And like, okay, if we got rid of the monotonous stuff, but our fees stayed the same, but it took less time, you get where I'm going with the profitability on this.
Yeah.
Now you can make the counter argument. You could say what Alex was kind of alluding to of like, oh, then they're just gonna like, you're gonna have these $500 people come in and do that. That's always gonna happen. Like, that is never not gonna happen. You're already competing in that. And then the opposite of that is like, then you're always still gonna have these people who want the prestige of hiring an architect. And a lot of people are that way, especially custom residential, is like they come to your website, they select you for a specific style. They want to be able to honestly brag to their friends that they're like, look, I heard like, this is the architect. Like, this is the architect, you know,
yeah.
This is who I have to hire. So, I think it's all I'm trying to do is just make sure that I'm doing my job as a podcaster and a voice in this community of like, just be aware of what's coming, and you can either get on board with it or you can poo-poo it. But at some point, like, push is going to come to shove, and you're just not going to have a choice anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder, honestly, because we were talking to some people, and the way that Chat GTP is writing codes, and maybe there's plugins, like, I mean, is this in a year going to... I can't see how there won't be plugins for this.
It's coming quick. I was telling my wife, like, it is so... The rapidness is going to blow people away. And what my overall theory is that there's going to be this candle that burns very quickly for the people that get on board really quick, and they're gonna whoever gets on board the quickest and utilizes this stuff the fastest is going to take most advantage of that candle burn. It's going to burn hot. It's going to burn quick, and what that is more profit. Then everybody's going to catch up, and then we're kind of on the same playing field again. So you have an opportunity right now. If you get on this for the next couple years, you're going to be on that very hot flame, and then everybody's going to get on the same page again, and then we recalibrate.
Yep, 100%.
100%. He says, okay, let's hear from somebody who we haven't heard from for a while. Nick with Nick Reads.
Hello, best friends. I hope you all had a great week this week. A reading. Live from Jacksonville International Airport. Effective people are not problem-minded. They are opportunity-minded. They feed opportunities and starve problems. Stephen Covey. Toodles and safe travels.
So true. So good to hear from you, Nick. Yeah, like there's a yin and yang to life. And we just kind of talked about that with the AI situations. Like, there's a positive and a negative. You want to share the conclusion?
Okay, let's do it. This is Inside the Firm. So, Lance, you know how technology goes. You just convinced me of this argument in my head.
With the candle analogy?
No, yes.
Oh, yeah.
No.
With
With the candle, but where everything's going and stuff like that. When a new technology comes along, the old ones die.
Pretty much.
Correct?
MySpace, et cetera. Yeah,
exactly. You name a million. Dynamo isn't going to be the way to go. It's going to be the plugins that integrate. That's going to be the way to go.
I agree. It's okay that I don't like it.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, when you were talking that, like, oh, that one's going to die. It's not going to be useful in a year. It's not going to be useful in a year.
It's the one that's going to get the most adoption, and it probably is the ones with the plugins and the user face that solve the GUI problem. Here's the problem.
Yeah.
Here's just so you guys know. I have done a crap load of research. Last Sunday, I spent most of my day just trying to figure out Dynamo. It was very difficult, and my overall critique was the same critique as Bill Allen's critique and Al's critique was, there's no good user interface. Like, what it does is Dynamo, they tried to make it look like, hey, Lance, you're an idiot who doesn't know how to write C+ code. Great, no problem, idiot. We're going to give you some graphics and make you just like point and drag it. Not helpful at all because they looked as foreign as the C+ language.
Yep.
So Glyph and Helix, those two pieces of software are those ones that are like that or it are going to be the ones that get adopted and solve the problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
That's it. Let's bring down the team for A.R.E. Jeopardy. Question number 1.
Jason.
A building that is required to have a firewall separation with Group B occupancies in it shall have a fire-resistant rating of how many hours? So that wall that's breaking up a building, because you have to have it because you have too many square foot, type B occupancies. Is it A, 3 hours, B, 2 hours, C, 1 hour, D, 4 hours? What do we got? 1. It is A, 3 hours.
Between B occupancies?
Yep, and this isn't your typical, you're separating B occupancies. This is B occupancy can only have 10,000 square feet, and now you have a building of 40,000 square feet, so you have to...
You got to make it a separate building. Yeah.
Yep. Tricker. Okay, question 2, same question, but Group H. Okay, Group H, same scenario. I won't read it all. Is it A, 3 hours, B, 2 hours, C, 1 hour, or D, 4 hours?
B.
4 hours. D. H. Hazardous, people. Hazardous.
All right, I got some easy ones. You ready? I'm going to give you some easy ones.
That one was higher or lower than the one before.
I was going to guess 3, so I'm an idiot. Number 3, what type of load is considered to be the most critical in the design of a building structural system? Is it A, dead load, B, live load, C, wind load, D, earthquake load? Yep, the most critical. I don't care about your exact situation.
Is this Chat GPT?
This is Chat GPT. All right. What'd you do? A. Okay, the correct answer is D, earthquake load. What did you? Did anybody get it? Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you proving that the thing might not know what it's
It might
talking
not know
about?
what it's doing. It's also a communist, just saying. Who's winning? Nothing. So 1? All right, here we go. Number 4, what is the most common type of construction material used for the structural frame of mid-rise high-rise buildings in the United States? Is it A, reinforced concrete, B, structural steel, C, masonry, or D, timber?
Mid to high-rise buildings. What is it?
Steel. Everybody said steel is correct.
So we have a tie, and we don't have a tiebreaker unless you guys can agree on where we're going to eat today. Those two.
I only got one.
Oh, Jason, how many did you get?
I got 2. You win.
Jason
Jason's
wins.
the winner. I knew it. I thought so. I thought Jason was the winner.
Yeah, Chiba Hut or Snarfs?
Snarfs. All right, I got to go get my teeth cleaned. If you like this episode, you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, leave us a positive comment. Tell Rebecca congrats on the engagement, and we will see you next week.
Whoa!
Yeah!